Kansas, gateway to Oz. Under the rainbow, this is where it was. Hollyhocks and red ripe tomatoes, hand-churned homemade ice cream. Let me tell you, Kansas is more than tornadoes. It's the best part of Dorothy's dream.
Today on Around Kansas, join us for a story about Fredrick Beecher and his life as a soldier. Then join us for a story about the variety of fossils that can be found in the state. Next, we'll have a poem from Ron Wilson, and we'll end with a look at the life and legacy of Admiral Gyfax. Stay with us. Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com. This segment brought to you by Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. Your stem cells, your health, your life.
Welcome to Kansas, gateway.
Oh, hello, you're here again. No, I'm here again. I'm Frank, and this is Around Kansas, the TV show that talks about people, places, and things that make Kansas a great place to live, work, play, and come visit. Well, here we are. Good grief, already into the middle of August. School is starting. Now, when I was a kid, we didn't start school till September. At least we got through Labor Day before we had to go back to school. But because of teacher meetings and parent-teacher meetings and all of that, school just starts earlier now, the middle of August for the most part. So anyway, kids enjoy it. And of course, the school zones are in effect. When you see the flashing lights, slow down, because it can cost you a lot of money if you don't, and look out for the kids. So anyway, school's going to be back in session. That means fall football starts, soccer, volleyball be behind that. Good grief, the activity starts all over again. And of course, coming up is Labor Day weekend, and there will be a lot of festivals all over the state. And like I've said before, one of the biggest is over in Bonner Springs, Kansas, the Renaissance Festival. And it's a fun place to go. Lots and lots of activities and turkey legs. You got to have a turkey leg while you're there. Anyway, in addition to that, there are fall festivals all over the state. So be sure to take those in. And of course, since we're essentially into fall, there are a lot of festivals all around. Labor Day weekend, of course, the Renaissance Festival opens over in Bonner Springs. If you've never been to that, you really do have to go, because it is a lot of fun. There's a lot of entertainment, things to see, things to do, and turkey legs. Yep, you got to have a turkey leg. And beyond that, of course, there are just festivals all over. There are going to be apple festivals and wine tastings and all kinds of things going on in the state of Kansas. It's a wonderful place to be as we go on into fall. And of course, one of the things that really is fun to do is to go over into the Flint Hills and see the colors of fall. Now, the thing is this year it may be a little different because we've had the drought conditions, but the Flint Hills is still a really nice place to go and visit. Take one of the scenic routes and go over there. So anyway, it's going to be a fun time. Today, what are we doing? Well, of course, Deb, my co-host, is out in western Kansas, and she hangs out at the Fort Wallace Museum. And she has some really great stories today, and I haven't seen them yet, so I'll be watching them with you. But nevertheless, once you see these messages, we'll be back and we'll see what she has this week.
Highways 40, 83, and I-70 come together right here in Oakley. Roads that lead to businesses, to magnificent rock formations, to scenic vistas, to places where legends were made. Roads that lead us home. Discover Oakley, the gateway to western Kansas.
Hi, I'm Kim Mandarin with Hardy Insurance. I'm here to help you with all of your farm and ranch needs. When it comes to protecting your operation and your family, you need a name you can trust at a price you can afford. Call me today or visit hardyaviationins.com.
Summer is busy at Tarwater Farm and Home. We have just about everything you'll need for your summer projects, and we're consistently competitively priced. Tarwaters can help make your grass and garden grow, and we have a huge variety of equipment to cut it. If you have a farm, Tarwaters has the products and equipment to keep it going strong. And our expanded parking lot will make it even more convenient to shop. So come see us at Tarwater Farm and Home in Topeka. This segment brought to you by Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. Your stem cells, your health, your life.
Welcome to Kansas, gateway to...
Fredrick Beecher was one of the famous Beecher family whose lives had such an impact on the Kansas territory. Henry Ward Beecher, Harriet Beecher Stowe, the Beecher Bibles, guns sent to defend the settlers against pro-slavers from Missouri. All of these were in Beecher's family tree. Thus, young Fred was raised in faith and patriotism, with roots in the very heart of the Civil War. Though his college career was interrupted, he graduated from Bowdoin College in Maine in 1865. He served in the 16th Maine Volunteers during the war and was wounded at Fredericksburg and Gettysburg. He was struck by shell fragments that shattered his kneecap at Gettysburg and said, "I thought I was cut in two and expected to live but a few minutes, but was very happy." His recovery was long, and he was left with a pronounced limp for the rest of his life. Moved to reserve services, he was often morose. He wrote, "My fortune has not been good, and I do not know that it will change. I have much to be thankful for, and yet sometimes I wish I were laid with the brave men at Gettysburg." He worked at the Freedmen's Bureau in North Carolina, the agency working to help freed slaves, and then in 1866 he enlisted in the 3rd Infantry. He was stationed at Fort Riley, then at Fort Wallace, where he served as quartermaster and was instrumental in the building of Fort Wallace. Beecher was planning to take leave and visit his loved ones at home when orders came for him to join Major George Forsyth in his organization of civilian scouts to take part in the Plains Indian Wars. Beecher's last letter home was written from Fort Hays, August 20th, 1868, 18 days before his death. He was beloved by the men who served with him, who described his death. Mortally wounded, he calmly lay down by the side of his commander to await the end. His mind wandered back to his mother. He was heard to murmur, "My poor mother." He became delirious, and at sunset on September 17, Fred Beecher passed away on a sandbar in the Arickaree River in the Colorado Territory. Hastily buried in a shallow grave, his body was not recovered when the burial detail returned that winter to move the graves. His loss was deeply mourned by his comrades and by his family. He has a memorial marker at the Beecher Island Memorial south of Ray, Colorado, as do the other scouts who perished in the battle. During the 150th anniversary events and the grand reunion of Forsyth Scouts, he will be portrayed by a reenactor, and several services at the participating sites will honor him.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
Valley Vet Supply.
Fort Wallace was the fightingest fort in the West. Fossils, Indians, soldiers, scouts, wagons, trails, pioneers, stories. Discover the story of Fort Wallace and the people who served here, the people who fought here, the people who settled here. Wallace County, where the past is present.
As fourth-generation farmers themselves, Heinen Brothers Ag Service understands the risk and rewards of farming. So when it comes to quality aerial and ground application, fertilizer, ag chemicals, and anhydrous ammonia, call Heinen Brothers Ag today, 800-760-4964.
I'm Rexanne Strew, veterinarian in Western Iowa. I have a veterinary clinic and started doing stem cell therapy on dogs in August of 2014. And after the first 2 dogs, after 3 weeks, I saw such dramatic results. I said, hey, I have arthritis. I have joints that really need this help. Where can I go to get this done? I had stem cell therapy done in November of 2014 on my finger joints, my hip, and the ball of my left foot, all of which I'd had real severe problems with. Saw a pretty dramatic improvement in a short amount of time. I would certainly recommend that somebody don't wait until I'm in the position that I was in with the damage already done to my joints. I encourage veterinarians to use it for their animals, and I encourage anybody who sees this video, if you have need, get in contact with these people because this is a phenomenal place to have this done.
Hi, I'm Kim Mandring with Hardy Insurance. I'm here to help you with all of your farm and ranch needs. When it comes to protecting your operation and your family, you need a name you can trust at a price you can afford. Call me today or visit hardyaviationins.com.
150 years ago, 50 men rode from Kansas into the Colorado Territory where hundreds of Cheyennes waited. They met on a fork of the Arickaree River and made history. Join us as we retrace their steps at sites in both states, Forts Harker, Hayes, and Wallace, the Beecher Island Battleground and Ray, Colorado Museum, with added events in Lincoln. Join us for the grand reunion of the Forsyth Scouts.
This segment brought to you by the Western Kansas Wildlife Travel Center in Oakley.
From the Kansas Flint Hills to the east, small invertebrate fossils are widespread in the limestones that crop out in road cuts and stream banks. In the Smoky Hills region, the fence post limestone is loaded with clams, and the Niobrara chalk contains clams, oysters, as well as larger vertebrates, including fishes, sharks, and large swimming reptiles called mosasaurs and plesiosaurs. KU's website, GeoKansas, is a great resource for information and fossil field trips. If you want to visit fossils in the climate-controlled environs of a museum, there is no better place to start than the University of Kansas itself. The Dyke Museum of Natural History on the campus is a stunning piece of architecture and contains thousands of exhibits. It's kid-friendly and open year-round. Plan other family outings around these sites with outstanding fossil exhibits. First, of course, the Sternberg in Hayes. The Sternberg family name remains renowned for their extensive fossil collecting. Nearby, the aptly named Fick Fossil Museum in Oakley and the privately owned Keystone Gallery south of Oakley and the Butterfield Trail Museum at Russell Springs are all interesting and well-done museums. The Butterfield Trail Museum closes over the winter. The Fort Wallace Museum in Wallace is open year-round and features the casting of a 42-foot plesiosaur discovered in Logan County. One you may not associate with fossils is the Ottawa County Historical Museum in Minneapolis, which features Sylvosaurus condreyi, a local dinosaur named for the farmer who discovered him while working his ground. There are so many discoveries yet to be made, so go exploring around Kansas. Welcome to Western Kansas Wildlife Travel Center, right here in Oakley, Kansas on I-70 at exit 76. I-70, after all, is America's Main Street, and we're right here on Main Street for you. Now that I'm an Oakley resident, I still come in almost every day, and I sit and listen to the conversations of the people around me. You know, the guys who are talking about the big elk they just bagged, or the folks who are taking their kid to college for the first time. People just traveling up and down the highway. Real people, just like you and me. And they find just what I find here, real people to serve them. There's history, there's scenery. We hope you'll stop and see us soon. Welcome to Oakley.
Welcome to the Jerry Thomas Gallery and Collection, where we showcase my renowned frontier military and Native American artifacts. Behind me you see a touch of fall. We put together not only the beauty of Micah Highwalking, who is the first graduate of West Point of the Northern Cheyenne people and a dear friend, but also a Hudson's Bay blanket that I have here in the gallery. The unique opportunity that I was able to have was we unveiled this painting and surprised Micah at Custer Battlefield, a true honor.
The reaction we get most often from visitors to the Fort Wallace Museum is wow. With the addition of the Ray Pump Organ Collection, the wows just got louder. Visit any time, but mark your calendars for the weekend of September 8th, when we join in the grand reunion of Forsyth Scouts with an encampment, entertainment, and special tributes. Better yet, join the Guardians of Fort Wallace to be a part of the fun all year long.
Trust and leadership are critical to success at Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center in Manhattan. Just ask Coach Bill Snyder.
People of the Regenerative Center do care about others. I've been highly impressed with those people that have that vested interest and try to help people become better. The center really is a wonderful thing here in Manhattan, first of its kind, and we're on the cutting edge of what lies ahead.
Find out more about the trusted leader in stem cell therapy at kansasrmc.com. Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. Your stem cells, your health, your life.
With nearly 100 years of broadcasting excellence, Ren Radio is now live on the internet playing hit songs of the 50s, 60s, and 70s. Join Jack Diamond, Mac Collins, Les Glenn, Frankie C., Antonio Barber, Wings Callahan, and the real Don Steele for some of the best music ever recorded. Hear it at rendigitalmedia.com or get the Ren Oldies Radio app in Play Store or App Store and tell Alexa, good times and great oldies on Ren Internet Radio.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Soybean Commission. Progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Howdy folks, I'm Ron Wilson, Poet Laureate. The cowboy really came alive in legend at the time of the great cattle drives, and the goal of the Texas drovers was to get to Abilene. This poem is in honor of the first cowtowns. One of the first cowtowns the world had ever seen was the little community known as Abilene. It all began after the Civil War here with the man for beef from the western frontier. A livestock dealer named Joseph McCoy helped bring about the American cowboy. He saw longhorns in Texas running free, and he knew what an opportunity these could be. McCoy looked for a place with grass and water abiding where he could build a big railroad siding. He traveled through Kansas on a railroad route west in search of a town that would suit his request, and when he got to the city of Abilene, he found a place which he had foreseen. It became a cattle shipping point henceforth for Texas drovers bringing cattle north. Thousands of longhorns came up the Chisholm Trail to the city of Abilene to meet the rail. The money flowed and cowboys got wild until the local folks got riled. So in time, the cattle trade moved west in the Texas cattle rancher's quest, but in the history of the West, the name still resounds. Abilene, Kansas, one of the first cowtowns. Happy trails.
Ag Promo Source is a unique group of marketing specialists with one mission: help your ag business grow. Each affiliate has their own area of expertise, and they work together to bring you advice, products, and services. To get started, visit agpromosource.com. Ag Promo Source. Together we grow.
Sure Crop Fertilizers was started by my father, Don Sherman, and my mother, Shirley Sherman. Family business that started in the 80s. We predominantly focus on plant nutrients and what we can do to give growers better responses with the fertilizer dollars that they do, and what we can do to make those things work better for the grower. We're based out of Seneca, Kansas. We work with growers in their soil analysis to figure out what they need, and then we can put those in a blend that gives them the best results, and so that we can deliver that direct to their farm so that they have those nutrients where they need them, when they need them, and so that they can apply them in a manner that's very efficient to them and works well in their planting systems and what they're doing. Sure Crop Fertilizers has been around for a long time. We always say we're big enough to take care of everything you need, but we're small enough to do it quickly. You can get a hold of us at 1-800-635-4743. Our website is surecropfertilizers.com, and you can always email me at Corey@surecropfertilizers.com, and with any questions you have, we'll be glad to answer it and work with you.
This is one of my favorite bits that I make. The name I give this bit is a derby bit. I had a roan head horse that was running through the bridle with the chain bit, and I made this bit here. It really worked good on that horse. I sent this bit to Donnie McNeese, who breaks in cattle for Jeff Smith and Ike Cox, and I said, ride this bit on a lot of horses, see how you get along with it. They did. He said, Bull, that's really a good bit. Fits a lot of horses. Then I give this bit to my good friend Brent Wright, who I make bits for, and I said, see how this bit will work on a reining horse. I call him up a couple months later. I said, Brent, how you get along with that bit? And he said, good. He said, you don't need it right this minute, do you? And I said, no. He said, good, because I'm down here in Texas and I just won a big futurity riding that bit. And when Brent got home, he gave me the buckle that he won the futurity with. I'm really proud of that buckle that Brent Wright gave it to me, and also that he got along so good with my bit.
Brought to you by Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter. It's a long way from the hills of Osborne County to the rank of Rear Admiral in the United States Navy. Felix Xerxes Gyfax was born March 30th, 1884 in Hancock Township, Osborne County. He was raised on a farm and attended the local rural one-room schools, and after graduation, Felix taught school for a couple of years until 1903, when he won an appointment to the United States Naval Academy at Annapolis, Maryland. He graduated 3 years later and was assigned to the USS Kearsarge in time to participate in the 14-month around-the-world voyage of the Great White Fleet ordered by President Theodore Roosevelt. The voyage lasted from December 1907 to September 1909 and was designed to display America's might to the world. Upon his return, Felix was transferred to the USS Minnesota. Felix was appointed first officer in charge of the submarine school in New London, Connecticut. In 1920, he assisted in the establishment of the submarine base at Pearl Harbor in Hawaii. He then served in the Naval Department in Washington, D.C., and held the rank of Admiral. A week after marrying Estelle Ice, Felix reported for duty as a naval inspector in Switzerland. At Winterthur, submarine engines were being built in a diesel factory for the U.S. Navy. When he learned that the Swiss wanted to charge him income tax, he succeeded in being appointed naval attaché at Bern, which exempted him from the tax. In 1933, Felix was made professor of naval science and tactics at the University of California at Berkeley. Later, he commanded the USS Augusta and the flagship of the Asiatic Fleet. After a brief command of Cruiser Division 3, he was transferred to command of the Norfolk Naval Yard in 1940, also receiving a presidential designation as Rear Admiral. In 1942, he was appointed Commandant of the 1st Naval District in Boston, where he was in charge of the Boston Naval Yard, and later the Norfolk Navy Yard. Upon his retirement in 1946, he was the holder of the Legion of Merit and was an honorary commander of the Most Excellent Order of the British Empire. Felix and his wife Estelle raised two sons, Felix Jr. and Rex, and he passed away February 24, 1977, in San Diego, California, and was buried with full military honors in Arlington National Cemetery at Washington, D.C. He was inducted into Osborne County's Hall of Fame in 1997, and we thank them for this bio.
That's it for now. Enjoy the fall in Kansas. I'm Frank, she's Deb, and we'll see you somewhere around Kansas.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com.
Let me tell you, Kansas is more than tornadoes. We're the best part of